a fifth-generation Oregon farmer, and I don't know what it's like to have a lot of money. I never have. I know I've been in debt a lot during my life, and I have to tell you that I've had to learn to live my life in a very frugal manner. And sometimes the circumstances of life force you to do that. And in this case, we have a county that has gotten the raw end of the stick. There's no question about it. Okay? The federal lands policy and what's occurred here has been incredibly damaging to Josephine County. We just spent a day and a half in Cave Junction and Selma and just talking with people. And 2 years ago, when we were down here helping defeat the previous commissioner-sponsored public safety levy, after it was over with, we went around this whole county with a film crew. And we literally just pulled into people's parking lots at grocery stores and Walmart here in town and various places and just talked to people, asked people, why do you think this is? And the common theme that came back to us time and time again was just frankly, we don't trust government. We don't trust government to spend our dollars wisely. That was the key thing that came through. And I have to tell you, in the 8 years I served in the House of Representatives, I sat that entire time on the Budget Committee called Ways and Means. And that's where we have to try to figure out how the dollars we're spending in these various government agencies and programs, how they're being spent. Are they accomplishing any real goals? What's the deal? And I learned a long time ago that you have to look deep into government spending to get an understanding, because it is enormously complex. None of these are easy issues to manage as a county commissioner or anybody else with your own school board and city council. Doesn't matter. None of it's easy. But what is easy to understand is if you're a poor person, if you've lost your job and you're living in Cave Junction or you're living in Merlin or you're living in this town and you can't afford any new taxes, nobody has to make complicated arguments to you because you get it. You just can't afford it. Now, that's one powerful argument, and Art articulated that. Joseph. The other part of this argument is accountability, and Joseph did a marvelous job in talking about that. Rarely at the state level are we really able to hold people accountable, especially government agencies, for how they spend money. They're too big, they're too complex, and you have to get so many votes to get budgets passed and these types of things. It's so much easier to hold your elected officials accountable when government is closest to the people. Isn't that what Jefferson said? Government that is closest to the people is the most responsive. So when you have a chance to go talk to your county commissioner, you have a chance to go hold them accountable for what happened to $522,000. Why did you spend $600,000 for a software system of which you've had to junk now? You've wasted $400,000 of it. What's the deal with the Ivy Airport development deal? How come that was a deal that just suddenly appeared with a minimum of any public comment, and now they're 5 months behind on their first payment, and the county is just now getting around to saying you're in default and forcing the issue? That's not good management. Exactly. I could have never done that at the state level with some of the programs that we were managing. I shut programs down as a legislator working with other ones that were out of control, and I'm proud of that. Unfortunately, after I left, they put them back into play again, and they're wasting our tax dollars today. The state data center is a great example of that, and of course, who can forget Cover Oregon, right? Which is very bipartisan, right? Republicans and Democrats voting for Cover Oregon. $305 million wasted for a website that never signed up a single person. We have to hold our leaders accountable. And when there are examples, and this is what Capital Watch Foundation, what Petunia and I do, we go around the state, when we hear from people at the local level that there's a waste of taxpayer money going on, we come around, we investigate it, we work with the locals, and we usually will hand out a corporate reward. I don't care if you're liberal or conservative. Nobody wants your tax dollars wasted. Because you work hard for your money. And if you're in an economically depressed area like Josephine County largely is, you can't afford to spend new money because you know that it's not going to be spent well. And that was what we learned 2 years ago, and that's what we've been hearing the last day and a half from people. They don't trust this group of county commissioners to spend their money well. And that is the biggest factor that I think is in play on this issue. It's trust. If people trusted it, I don't think it would be an issue. But they simply don't trust. So, my view is, I was asked by, we're for a constitutional government, our friends here, come down and support this effort. 90% of the people we've talked to, 90% of the people we've had coming by are honking the horns, giving us the thumbs up. Obviously, people are responsive to our message. And if they trusted government, I wouldn't be here. You guys would be voting on this thing and it would be passed. But they simply don't. And so when you have a group of leaders that will not be transparent, and we believe that's what's occurring here, then we give out an award called the Porker Award to politicians, to government bureaucrats, at all levels, all across this state. We started in the state of Oregon, we've gone to the city of Corvallis, we've gone many other places, and we do that to illustrate that the people can stand up and they can hold their elected officials accountable. And we do that with Petunia. She's hard to miss. We travel all over the state with her. And usually I am dressed in a tuxedo when it's time to give away the Porker Award. And so we give away the Porker Award by putting a banner up here, and we simply drop the banner, and we're going to do that now. So we award Petunia's Porker Award to the Josephine County Commissioners.